Well, hello there, and welcome back to Dad Duty Done Right. We were going to be going outside today to cutting some grass and texturing it to show you how you can texture it. You know, sometimes when you have little holes or little dips, so it looks pretty even. Unfortunately, it's raining outside, it's cloudy, it's incredibly hot, so we're going to take a little pass on that for today. We're actually going to be going inside because the first story AC, which is on the second floor, the air handler, the blower motor blew out, and is that's happened 3 times already. And we actually figured out what the issue is. I never really paid attention to it because it was kind of hidden. The air intake for the first story AC, it's actually on the second floor inside the laundry room, and it pulls air from the downstairs and it blows it back down. So the actual intake is 20 by 20, but when it gets all the way up to the AC, they actually reduced it to 12 by 12, which causes an increase in static, which can blow out your motor because the motor is pulling harder to cool down the house, especially here in Florida where it's very hot. So we're going to be cutting a 12 by 12 air intake vent on the side of the box where the air handler sits inside the laundry room. That way it can pull some air from the second story home so that it can alleviate the pressure on the actual motor upstairs. So let's go ahead and get started, shall we? All right, and we are inside the house now. Slight correction: it's not 20 by 20. The filter is 20 by 20, but the air intake here, I believe, that's about maybe 12 by 20. Not sure, haven't really measured it yet, but I'll give you an exact size once we get up there to the actual second story. So what I wanted to show you guys is once you undo this right open here, you can see the air intake in there, right? And see how it gets reduced up there? That reduction there, so that reduction there, that hole should be the same size as this here. That reduction there is causing air pressure to build up and air resistance to build up and static to build up, which is what's causing the actual motor to break. If you hear my kids in the background, they're having breakfast right now, so I apologize about that. So that's what's happening right now up there. So we're going to go up to the second story, and up there on this side, there's a box that the air handler sits on, and we're going to be drilling a hole, cutting a hole in 12 by 12 to be able to alleviate this reduction here on this size. All right, let's go up. Alrighty, we're now downstairs in the actual first floor thermostat, which controls the first floor AC. And for redundancy's sake, off. There you go. Alrighty, we are now at the main circuit breaker at the house in the garage. And the upstairs is the air handler or air heat, number 1. And the air conditioner, number 1 as well. Done. All right, now that the air handler is off and the thermostat is off, and as well as the actual AC is off, we're going to go ahead and begin. These are all the tools that I'm going to be using. I'm going to be going through them here in a second. There's the air vent, and then you can turn off everything backwards like I did. Maybe breaker first, then AC, then air handler. I did it backwards. You do it however you want. At this point, it's a lot of redundancies to turn off something to do this kind of thing. As you can see, we're going to be cutting a hole in this area here where there's a lot of pipe and electricity. At this point, I just don't feel like getting electrocuted. I've been electrocuted a lot of times, and I've learned my lesson. And at this point, I'm paranoid, and I respect it. Let's begin. All right, tools. So I'm going to be using an oscillating tool to cut into the wall there. Obviously, we have pipes, electrical work, copper pipes as well with the refrigerant. We don't want to cut into any of that, so we have to be very, very careful when we're cutting. That's why I'm not using a drywall saw. If you have one, just be very careful, and you don't have an oscillating tool, just be very careful how you do it, okay? I have this scraper here. I have a vacuum to vacuum up anything that I need. I have this light right here that's going to be illuminating this whole thing here so I can see a heck of a lot better. Here are the screws for the actual vent. Now they didn't come with these because these are supposed to go, I guess, in the studs. But since there's probably not going to be any studs in there, I'm just gonna use these. Again, never throw away your parts from other projects. They can come in handy. There you go, right there. Alrighty. So first things first is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get here to ground level. So the actual vent, I want it to be right here in this area. Now, if y'all can see, the vent in the back right here has a cardboard piece that slides perfectly, almost perfectly inside of it. And I'm actually going to use this cardboard piece here. To, as a template, sort of, to draw here, to actually calculate the area that I'm going to be cutting in. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and start. So for this, since I have the cardboard already here, I'm going to take the cardboard and I'm going to place it right here. All right, and then I'm also going to bring the leveler here, and I'm going to place it on top to see if it's even, to see if it's leveled. And then I'm going to take a pen, and then I'm going to mark exactly where it is and where I want the actual square to be. All right, so now that I have this and it is leveled, I'm going to go ahead and come here and take it. And I'm just going to place this right about here, because this is where I want this to be. I can see there that it is leveled, right? I'm going to take this here. Now, there are many ways of doing this. I'm doing it like this because it's easier for me to do. And I'm just going to mark right here in the edge. I'm just going to do a little mark here. All right. And I'm going to do another little mark right here. And if you want, honestly, since this is pretty straight, you can just go down all the way here, right? On either sides. Make sure you hold this straight. And you can just go down all the way. Just like that right there. Okay. Since you know that this is already leveled here, and this is where it's going to be, and you know that it's leveled, you can just remove this, place it up here, and we're just going to go ahead and mark here as well. Again, I'm not an expert. You don't have to be an expert. Just do the best you can. Make sure you don't mess anything up. And then, obviously, make sure that you're still in the area that you're trying to mark. And then we're going to go ahead and cut all the way at the bottom right here. All right. And it should look like something like this. Now, if you missed it there a little bit, you can just come back and grab it like this, so you can remark it and you don't mess up. You know what you're doing. There you go. You just mark it like that. And you have yourself a box there and a square where you can start to visualize where you're going to be cutting into. And cut. So one of the things that I realized here as well is since this fits perfectly like in the back of this right here, right? And this is what we're using as a template to cut. You see there, it fits pretty snugly in the back of this. We're using it as a template to cut so we can know where to place the actual vent. These holes here they used to attach the vent, they are about, I would say, 1/2 inch from the border there. So what I was thinking of doing is drawing a secondary line, maybe in here. So 1/2 inch on the inside, I was saying, like this. Let me get my pen. As we know already, I would say push it down a little bit, and make sure that you got 1/2 inch maybe in the vicinity here. You can come in like this, and then you just gotta draw down, just like this right here, so that you have a 1/2 inch in there, so that if you know that the hole, let's say for example, comes down. Now this is not where the precise hole is in the gray. I'm just eyeballing it here. You know that your other line will be coming across right here, right? About right there. What you want to do is, and then if you know that the hole is somewhere around here, for example, right? That it gives you at least a sort of a lip or a little area where you can put that little plastic piece in the drywall so that you can have something to hold on to when you put the screw in there, okay? Because if you cut it just evenly at the same size as the actual vent, you're not going to have anything to grab onto, because we don't know if there are studs in there in the back. I can't find my stud finder. So like I said, we're just eyeballing this for now. All right, so I went ahead and did the same thing all the way around. As you can see, we are going to be cutting using the inside line and not the outside. The outside is the outline of the actual air vent itself, which is right there. That's the actual outline of the air vent itself. So the inside line is the one, see here, the inside line is actually the one that we are going to be using to cut the actual square. All right, and then after you have done that, this is what sort of should look like. Like I said, we are going to be cutting the inside. We're going to be using the inside line there to cut the actual square. Okay, so let's go over a little recap. This video picks up about a week and a half after we did the first part, guys. I've just been really busy at work and I haven't had much time. But quick recap: we are putting in a grate here so that the AC here can pick up a little bit more air, so that we can reduce the static, because it is causing the blower motor to the air handler, or the actual thing that sends out cold air, I guess is the easiest way to describe it, into the downstairs area. It's causing it to blow. So we did a kind of a rough draft of what the size of the grate is going to be, and then we are going to be using some tools to cut into it. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. So I got my tool right here, and this is what I'm gonna be using. It's a little oscillating saw with the cutting tool. I have the vacuum here, and I'm gonna turn it on, so it is gonna be loud. So I do apologize about that. I'm actually gonna be, depending on what it sounds like, I will be taking off the sound, so that it's not too loud. Because I'm going to be having the vacuum turned on so I can suck up all the dirt and stuff that comes out as I cut, because I don't want to, fill up the laundry room with a bunch of dust. So here we go. All right, let's see how that sounded. Alrighty, let's continue, shall we? Go ahead and turn that vacuum on. Do a little test there real quick, just to make sure that we got sound. Alrighty, that's actually looking pretty good. I'm going very little, not very little. I'm going very slow because I do not want to cut, because I don't know what could be behind here. There are pipes and cables, and the drain pipe is here for the condensation to go out to the house. I don't know what could be behind here, so I'm going very, very careful not to either cut into it or disturb anything that's behind there. So yeah, because you don't want to hit any of those important parts of the AC. All right, let's go ahead and continue. Alrighty. So I am hitting, I think I hit a stud right here. So there is a stud right here, and then behind here, there's none. So now that I've confirmed that there is indeed a stud here and a stud here, then there might be some screws in here somewhere. I don't know. But I'm going to be very, very careful. I'm going to go and get the other tool that I have. Let's see if it's up here. It's probably downstairs. I do not remember. So that I can check. Oh, there it is right here. Oh, since I've already cut through the whole entire thing almost, so I want to make sure that I can dig in here. There it is. There we go. There we go. Little by little, get everything out of here. There we go. Alrighty, perfect. Look at that. So as you can see there, we took off the whole entire piece, and then we have insulation, and then we have obviously the stud there. It's not actually, this was not actually secure with screws onto that. It's probably done down here somewhere or up here somewhere. But it just made it a heck of a lot easier. So I'm going to slowly now take out the insulation and all that. I'm going to put this piece in the bucket that I brought. Now this, don't throw it away, don't break it. If you ever have an issue at the house where you have like a piece of like something poked through the wall, or something that you accidentally punch a hole through the wall or something like that, you can use this to repair the wall. Do not throw this away. This can always be used. So I'm going to put this over here to the side. There we go. And then I'm going to slowly take out this insulation. Now I will be definitely putting some gloves on, because I don't want to get any of that fiberglass in me. I don't want to get any of that on me because it's very itchy. So yeah, definitely use some protection gloves if you have it. Alrighty, I'm going to go ahead and begin taking out this insulation here little by little. There we go. And like I suspected, there is a pipe. There is indeed a pipe and everything else behind here. I'm just going to take this piece out of here. Luckily, it's one actual piece that they put in there, so it's very easy to take out. There we go. Just turn on the vacuum so I can vacuum up some of this dust here real quick. So I don't know if you guys ever heard that during construction they will leave trash and a bunch of crap behind. That is true. Come over here and I'm going to show you inside the walls. These builders, see here, they will leave trash and stuff. I don't know if you can see it right there. That right there is a Pepsi can. Think. No, I'm sorry. A Red Bull can. Lovely. Building a house, leave trash all over. All right. So there is another piece of insulation here on this side. I will move this to the side because I don't need to do that. So as you can see, right, the pipe that comes in from the outside comes through here. And then also we have the pipe that goes out with the condensation line. All the water gets taken out. Just going to look in here, make sure that everything in here is okay. I'm going to have my big work light that I have here. just to check. You never know. All right. Everything in here looks pretty good. I will say this. Yep. No water damage or nothing like that in here at all whatsoever. So nothing punctured, nothing broken. So, all right. So we are going to continue, and we're actually going to be cutting a. We're actually going to be cutting a hole in here. So this is this right here. Okay, that's where the main intake is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up a hole right here in this so that it can take out air from here as well. Now I would like to make this, now that I see what it looks like inside, I would like to make this a little, I guess, not, well, I guess you could say the word is prettier, but a little bit more professional. I want to put, you know, a siding in here to be able to not have that giant hole and it not pull dirt and crap and stuff from actually in here. So this is definitely turning out to be a bigger project than I thought. Alrighty, so I have taken the piece that we cut out from this square right here, and I just flipped it on the side. Well, not on the side because it's 12 by 12, so it's same size on all sides. And I'm just gonna jam it in here so I can do some rough measurements of where the pipe is on this side, and obviously where the pipe is gonna be on this side as well. And I'm just gonna put this piece right up against that part back here where I'm gonna make the cut back there. That way it's at least covered, you know, and it's not sucking air and dust in from this actual cavern, this actual hole right here. So it's gonna be one here, one in the bottom, one on the side, and one on top. And then I'm gonna spackle it, let it dry to make sure that it is, you know, sealed in and it's pulling directly from this intake right here, not from all this over here. Alrighty, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this in here, just like this. And honestly, the circumference of the pipe, just by looking at it, you don't have to have a measuring tape. Just pen, stick it in here, right up against this right here. All right, and it comes up to about right here. That's how much you want to mark off of this, right? So you come here, right? We said about that much. That's how much we want off the top and off the bottom. So you want to mark on two sides, right? Top and bottom, so that you can do a little square here, cut it so that you can insert it all the way back up against flush to this right here, okay? But I'm gonna get a tape measure, that way it looks a little bit more professional and we do it better. So I'm gonna go with my tape measure and I'll show you exactly how to do that. All right, so I went and got my little tape measure. It's a cute little tiny tape measure for things like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the front of the tape measure flush up against the side of the intake wall there, right? And then I'm just gonna take my pen and see where it comes up to. So that is almost 2.5. Let's see here. Yep, actually 2.5 inches. So right at 2.5, 2.5, right here. So I'm just gonna take this, put it right back in here, right? And then I'm gonna mark exactly where the pipe is, right? Just where the pipe is for now. On the top and on the bottom, right? And then I'm gonna come right here. You can see there, one on top and then one on the bottom. And then I'm gonna go ahead and take, and I'm just gonna measure out 2.5 inches back into the actual board itself. See here so you guys can see too. That's 2.5 inches, which is about right here or so. And then we're gonna do the same thing to this side. 2.5 inches. So we know that we need to, sorry about that. We know that we need to cut here and cut here. Now, when it comes to this, I'm not going to do it flat. I'm going to do it round in the shape of the actual pipe itself. I'm going to show you that here in a second. See that right there. Alrighty. So we got this here, right? I'm just gonna come around and just kind of just mark off the roundness of the pipe. Yeah, again, it doesn't have to be perfect, all right? Just a rough estimate, okay? It's not that serious. So there you go. Go ahead and take my tool, cut around that. See right there. This right here. Use that as a kind of like a holding on tool so that I can see where I'm cutting. Move this over here for y'all so y'all can see better. Right there. Okay. Turn that AC on, that vacuum on. Alrighty, very important to always clean as you go. So you have a clean work area. There you go. And that is what it looks like now. Then we're just going to slightly insert it in there to make sure that it actually works. And this is what it will look like. Just like that. Okay. Again, it's not perfect. It doesn't have to be perfect. Alrighty. Now we're going to have to do this to the top, the side, and the bottom. Luckily, we saved this piece right here. Like I said, always save your scraps. I'm actually going to have to go to Lowe's real quick to buy some more of this because I don't have any left at home. And I want to make sure that all of that is perfect in there. Now, once now this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to place the whole entire square around it. And once it is placed, you know, I want everything to be flushed. I want everything to be pretty straight. All this here has to come out. So I throw that back in there. All this here is going to have to come out. So there is a nice smooth surface for this to, you know, butt up right up against it. And there's nothing pushing back. Because once I do that, right, I'm going to go ahead and take a marker and I'm going to draw a square on the inside line of it. So I know how much I actually have to take out. I know how much I actually have to cut there. So we'll be back in a bit. I'm going to go to Lowe's and then we're going to get the rest of our materials and we'll keep going. All right, y'all. So I went and got some of these patches right here. They're about $7. They're like 2x2, 2 feet by 2 feet. And then I'm going to go ahead. We need 3 pieces of that 12x12 that we had upstairs. And then I also got some joint tape that I'm going to be using as well. We're going to go ahead and measure and cut. We're going to be measuring here and here. We're just going to go do a 12x12. And then we're going to do that about 3 times and till we get that piece that we need. All right, I did 2 little marks, one here and one here. I'm going to grab the leveler or the level there. Since it has a pretty straight line, I'm going to draw a line like this right here and then one right here. All right, and then we're just going to place it right here. So it's parallel to each other, each line. There we go. We're going to do one line here, and we're going to do the same to the other side this way. So we'll have our 12x12 spot. All right, and this is what we have now. We did one little mark here, one here, and one up there. 12x12. We're going to go ahead and do that 3 times, and then go upstairs and start marking where the pipe and the cables are so that we can do the little notches. Alrighty, we are back upstairs. I have the 3 other pieces right here. I am going to label them. That way I know which one goes for which. First, we're going to do the one here at the bottom. Let's take this one out, because that one is already done. I do have to clean it up on the sides a little bit to make sure everything's good, but so far it is. So this one is for the bottom. So I'm just going to put a B here. Alrighty. And this one's going to go in like this, a little farther in. Now, I did judge for the small lip right here on the side. So it will go in like this, right? So I did take into account the other piece that was going to be next to it, okay? I did measure 12 by 12, and I cut it on the inside, not on the outside. So if you have your tape measure, for example, if you have your tape measure right here, and it says 12 by 12, right? I had it at the edge of the tape, the board, and it says 12 by 12. Do not cut on the outside, right? So let's say you have a piece like this, right? And you're measuring like this, just a little hash, the little dash marks, so you know where you're cutting. Do not cut on the outside, because you will be leaving the amount that you're going to be leaving outside is for this side right here. So you want to cut on the inside, so it fits in perfectly like that, snug. Okay, as you can see, I'll bring this over so you guys can see. That's how it is supposed to look right there. You are accounting for that inch on the other side. I don't know if y'all can see it right here on this side as well. So that's how you want to do it. Okay. Put you back there, and I'm going to keep measuring what we need to measure here. Okay. So that one we know we got it, right? So I'm going to take my tape measure, and I'm going to see how far away this one is. Since this one's going to come over all the way over here, I want to measure how far away from the back of the actual box of the intake to this actual stud here. Now remember, the stud has, from the wall, about half an inch. Has got about half an inch from the wall, okay? So you want to measure, okay, all the way out to the actual edge of this, okay? So we got this here, all the way to here, and that is exactly 8. No, actually, no, I'm sorry. It is, see, that is 7 and 3/4. So it is 7 and 3/4 right there. That's exactly how much it is. So we're gonna, from the back of this, right? I'm gonna put this one here, and we're gonna measure from the back, right? And then we're just gonna come over here, and we're gonna mark 7 and 3/4. Now, you also want to mark where you actually want to start cutting, right? So you're gonna measure from the right side over to the left, and you have here 4 and 1/4, right? So from here to here, you're gonna mark 4 and 1/4, right? Because that's where you're going to be actually cutting into, right? And then from here to here, it is 2 and 3/4. So 2, right? And 3/4. There you go. See that there? 2 little hash marks on the right hand side. That way we cut in all the way back to the measurement from the back of the wall up to here, so we know exactly how long it's going to be going in there. Okay? And actually, I messed up. I'm sorry. So I forgot to account for that 1 inch on the other side. So I'm going to remeasure, okay? So this here is, these here are no-go. Put a little X. No, that is not good. So we're going to go from here. See what happens. You see what the saying, cut once, measure twice comes in handy? There you go. So, see here. And there you go. And there you go. So those two right there are is the actual measurement that I'm going to be doing. This one and this one. Okay. And I'm just going to go like this just so I have a general idea. There you go. And there you go. Now from the back wall all the way to here, like we said, it was 7 3/4, but we're going to want to leave it a little bit on the inside. So we're going to do 7 5/8. So from back here all the way to back here is going to be 7 5/8 on the inside. 7 5/8. Right about right here. And we are going to do the exact same thing on the other side of this one as well. There we go. And 5/8. There we go. And then obviously just for, for being nice and square, we're just going to draw a line right here. So we know. All right, so that is the bottom part done. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and move on to the one on the side. Now, since the one on top, we already know that there is no pipe or nothing that we have to account for. Since the one on top, we can already go ahead and do the same one for the top. So the one on the bottom is going to be exactly the same way for the one for the top. Okay. And then the only other one that I can think of that's going to be a little bit different, it's going to be this one right here on the side. There is a cable that goes through there, but I'm just going to count 1/2 inch for the cable, since the bottom part is going to be flush with the actual wall itself. So the one for the bottom is the same as the one for the top. I'm going to go ahead and copy the same design, and then I'm going to do the one on the side right here is going to be a bit different because of the fact that the cable actually is resting on top of the actual pipe, so it's going to give it about 1/2 inch. Alrighty, so I have the rest of the pieces here. This one is for down here. Just like that. It's a little bit stuck on there, which means I probably have to shave a little bit here off the side, which I'm going to do with the little tool that I had here, but I don't know where I put it. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Actually, I think I'm just going to use the back of this hammer here that I got just to scrape a little bit. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I'm probably going to break it. I'm just going to use the tool. Actually, I got my oscillating saw here, so I'm just going to use the oscillating saw. Alrighty, I shaved a little bit off the top there. Slides all the way back there. Still needs a little bit more from back here. Alright, let's try that again, shall we? There we go. Look at that. Alrighty. Now that we have that piece there, obviously we're going to have to come around and cut this all the way around first, but I'm just doing it like this so that I can measure the inside of the actual area where I am going to be cutting. Very important. So this one is the other side, and this one as well. I'm going to have to shave off a little bit as well. Maybe I cut a little bit too much on the inside. I gave myself some leeway, but I guess it didn't work. Just going to reduce this here to the side a little bit. Excuse me. All right, let's see this again here. There we go. Look at that, perfect. And I had brought some nails to actually like nail it to the side where I'm going to be, so I can hold on to here. But actually, I think it's turning out pretty good, if I do say so myself. I am going to have to cut a little bit more here on the bottom so it can actually go all the way into that. Alrighty. Alright, let me take here so I can show you guys how it's looking. Look at that. So I'm going to slide the other one here on this side now, and then I am going to measure on the inside so that I can actually make the cut inside the actual box of the air handler. Alrighty, as you can see there, I had to pull a little nail here on the side so I can hold it up correctly. Obviously, this is just a rough draft. I'm going to be measuring the inside. I'm going to take all this out. I'm going to cut, and then I'm going to put it back on there, put some tape and compound, and when we come back, so y'all can see what it looks like. Alright guys, I apologize about the lighting. I actually lost battery on my work light. So this is what it looks like after I cut through. And then, as you can see, that right there, right, is the... What the heck is that? Oh, that's probably that expansion foam. So, I'll show you guys. That is the bottom. Down there, it's the size that it's supposed to be. And then up here, it gets reduced. And that is what's causing the issue. That reduction there is causing... That reduction there, you see there in white, that is causing the issue for this fan. That's why it keeps blowing. So I'm going. We're opening up a hole here to be able to allow the fan to intake a little bit more air so it doesn't burn out, especially in the hot summer months here in Florida. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and put the drywall panels, seal it up, and then I'll show you guys after that when it's done. Alrighty, all pieces placed. Now I'm going to mark on top all the way around so I cut so that it is flush with this here. All right, folks, so change of plans. The spackling that I had or the mud, or whatever you want to call it, to patch up all these holes in here, it's actually gone bad. Dried out on me. It's very, very dried and hard, and I'm not going to be able to use it. So, change of plans. I actually have some expansion foam downstairs, 1 to 3 inches. So, there are some holes in here. Obviously, we're not doing this professionally. We're kind of just... I want to say half-assing it, but we are, you know, we're doing what we can with what we have is the really what we're going for here. So I'm gonna go ahead and start putting this expanding foam in here. This video is already starting to be a little long, so I just want to go ahead and wrap it up. We're putting some of this expanding foam in here. We're gonna go ahead and let it dry, and then we are going to put the actual metal vent cover on the outside, and I'll show you guys here in a second what that looks like. Alrighty, and this is what it actually ends up looking like. Now I know it's a little bit mess. I still got to clean the foam downstairs all the foam right there that it dripped down. But this is what it looks like. So you can draw air from here and to here. A heck of a lot better. Alright, folks. I hope you enjoy. I know this video was a little tedious and long, but this was needed. This was needed because I do not want to replace another motor. It is a pain in the butt, especially with warranty. You all take care, and I'll see you next time. Alright folks, and that's it. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I know it's a bit long. I tried my best to keep it short, as you know, but since this was a very technical and very slow and methodical thing that we had to do, that it's not really in the, you know, it's not like a template comes with it, you know, you're just doing it as you go along. So thank you for sticking by with me. I hope that you enjoy the video. I hope that you can copy from it or adjust to it if you have this similar issue. I will actually be having a guy over. He's my friend. He lives behind me here. He does AC. He's going to be checking the static or the resistance to it, so that we see if it actually worked what we did. I still have to go in and actually cut all the expanding foam that's in there. It's pretty messy. It's still drying, but it actually is working pretty well. So just like and subscribe if you like the video. Leave comments under the comment section if you have any suggestions or if you've done something like that before. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next weekend. I still got to cut the grass, which I haven't done, and it's Sunday, so got to get to it.